Today I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate SteerCo pack, and you're probably already wondering, what's so ultimate about it? Think about the SteerCo itself. This sits at the intersection between the directing layer of the project and the managing layer, which is the area that you most likely operate in. The members of that board are responsible for enabling effective decision making, for providing scrutiny on the project, and helping to deal with any escalations that arise. If you keep that at the front of your mind, this has to be a decision-making forum. So you need to build a pack that drives decision-making. It's not a forum for you to just express yourself. So what elevates this template above most other SteerCo templates I've seen is that it's focused on getting decisions made. It doesn't care about how hard you worked. It doesn't try to create a talking shop. All it wants to do is drive decisions. So I've created this template using a standard theme in Microsoft PowerPoint. The theme itself is unimportant. I've just chose this one. You use whatever in-house style that you've got in your organization. And yes, of course, you can download a copy. Have a look for the link in the description. Okay, first, the title page. Make sure that you include the project name, the meeting date, and the publication date. Because these packs can sometimes get quite large and it's not ideal when they do, I'm going to create a contents page and just put a simple table in there to show where you can find the various contents of the pack. Next up, I'm including an executive summary page. This needs to be a simple one-pager that explains what's going on in the project, what's coming up, what's been done so far, what's challenging you, what the threats are, and also any kind of escalations that you're bringing to the board. Okay, the first decision in the pack, and it should be a standard one on any agenda for any governance meeting, which is to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. It's so often overlooked, but it's so important. You need to get the members of this board to agree to the minutes that have been circulated so that everybody's got a standard basis of understanding of what has happened in the project so far and what has happened in the previous SteerCo. Without this decision being made, you open a door at some point in the future where someone can argue that what has been agreed in the past wasn't quite agreed the way they expected, or the way they understood, or they were misunderstood, or they didn't commit to something in the way that you expected. Close that door, get the minutes of the previous meeting approved as the first action at every SteerCo. Next up, we need to have a slide talking about the open actions from the previous meetings. I said earlier that this is a decision-based meeting, but those decisions can lead to actions that need to be delivered by people who are attending the meeting. So there's no better way to get those people to deliver what's expected than by holding them to account by having a slide showing how much work they've done or not done since the previous meeting. Next up, we've got a slide talking about the decisions being made today. And this is just a summary slide. I'm going to use a table to present this information where it's just a brief overview of what the decisions are that are being asked for in the meeting. In previous versions of my packs, I have included this before the exec summary. That's how important I think this is. My thinking's evolved a little bit on this though. I now understand that having the exec summary first provides a useful context before the board members are asked to decide on anything. Don't worry about this not having a whole lot of information at this stage. There's more detailed slides to come. Next, I have a page that looks at the decisions in detail, and I'm using a table here to ask for this information in a consistent way so that every decision is providing the same sort of information. What is the decision? What are the impacts? What alternatives have been considered? And do we need to escalate this anywhere else in the organization to get a final sign off? I'm creating a placeholder for some supporting information. Because of the variety of all the potential types of supporting information needed for this, I'm just going to leave this one blank. I'll leave this one entirely up to you as the creator of the pack to decide what the best supporting information is for the decision you've just asked for. The next slide on here is a plan on a page. I've got a simple template that I've used before, which I'm just going to copy and paste into here. This is a very simple but powerful visual aid for demonstrating the progress of the project. By the way, I should add that I've been doing these videos now for quite a long time. There's a big library of information on my YouTube channel where you can go and get lots of tips and tutorials. So make sure to subscribe if this is the kind of thing that you are getting benefit from. There are times when you'll need more detailed information, or you may just need some advice on how to deal with a problem in your project or how to deal with a problem in your career. That's absolutely fine. There's a link in the description that explains how to engage me as a coach or mentor based on your needs. Next up, we need to put a summary about the key risks and issues on your project. Now, keep in mind your audience. They don't need all the nitty-gritty detail behind every single risk and issue. Think about the biggest threats to the project. Think about the things they need to be involved in, the things that have been escalated to them perhaps, and just include those and keep the detail fairly minimal. You can always put a link to the detailed risk and issue logs somewhere on that page. Now that I've wrote it out, I'm looking at it, I'm wondering, should I include likelihood? Should I include impact as separate columns on there in the same way that you would have on your risk register? And the answer is no. Your audience most likely won't care about that. They will trust that you understand what the key risks and issues are, and you're presenting information to them in a curated way that makes sense for them to be seeing. If you make that table too busy, too much like a risk register, it'll blind them to the information that they really need to see. For the most part, what they want is an assurance that you're on top of the key risks and issues, and that you're coming to them with escalations where you need assistance. Since your previous meeting, there might be some new risks or issues that have emerged that they need to be aware of. This gives you a page where you can add a little bit more information, again, without going overboard, and you can provide a hyperlink to the risk register or to the issue log so they can see these things directly in all the detail if they need to. Ah, crikey, everyone's favorite next, financials. For right now, I'd say as a minimum, you need to include your year-on-year forecasts, year-on-year actuals, your total forecast, your total actuals, show any deviations if they exist, and if you've got any financial benefits, make sure to include them as a forecast and as an actual as well. And if you've got the time to write the formula, show the return on investment. That's the main body of the pack, and that should be sufficient for you to have demonstrated that you're being transparent and open about the runnings of the project, for the SteerCo membership to feel they've provided adequate scrutiny and been able to make effective decisions based on what you've escalated to them. It's always worth having an appendix section to your pack, just in case if there's any additional information you need to provide to support the decisions that are being made. But also you might want to include things like the terms of reference. If you've got a one-page charter, then include that as well. And always maintain an attendance register in the pack as well to demonstrate who's coming to the meetings and who's skipping them. What if you're running more than one project? What if you've got more than one SteerCo taking place? Well, this video will offer some advice on how to deal with that situation. Good luck.